when Pops first introduced me to Minecraft, back in had to have been like October, November 2010. The game was still in Alpha Edition. And you know what? I don't think either one of us really knew about the behemoth of a game that it would become. And good God, if I had known, if only I had known. Oh, there's my house. I would have started recording that day. And think about it, if I had started recording that day, I'd probably have the longest running Minecraft YouTube channel online. Gotta go, buddy. But so part of the problem with that though is that in a way I kind of did have that chance. I mean, I grew up in my teens basically playing Minecraft. I played with my friends and we never committed. There's always an excuse. There always would have been an excuse. Oh, I don't have the right equipment, or, you know, my friends have different schedules, we can't get on at the same time, or, you know, I'm busy with school, or student government, or soccer, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, I genuinely feel like it's more of a case of self-doubt more than anything. You can make the thing happen, but you hold yourself back. You know, sometimes self-doubt rears its head so much. It's a little too dark in here. It rears its head so much that it practically feels like a roommate, like that skeleton we walked in. And so in my teenage years, I actually I came across a philosopher named Alan Watts, and he is immensely wise. You should check him out if you can. And he basically brought Eastern philosophy to the Western world. And a lot of what he has said has been very, very transformative for me, at least. And I definitely like to think that his teachings have helped lead me onto a better path. And so what he taught, he actually, you know, like Eastern philosophies, he talked a lot about the interconnectedness between people and just existence in general. He talked a lot about living in harmony with nature. He has a quote that I actually think on quite a bit. He said, "And after all, if you do really like what you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is. Eventually, you can become a master of it. The only way to become a master of something is to be really with it." And holy shit, man, I love that quote. And I love that quote because to me, more than anything, it's about authenticity. It's about creating things earnestly in a way that is true to the self. And that really resonates because, you know, you look around and what's the point of all this beauty around us if we can't add to the collective? You know, how are you supposed to cultivate your own soul when you either never have the time or you're paralyzed by fear? One more. Tell me, what is the point? What is the point if all you do is trade your time to build other people's dreams? I want to build my own dreams, clearly. And I guess the problem is, by that point in my life, I was not ready. I definitely would say that the seeds were sown, but I still had so far to go before I was ready to take that kind of a leap. And, you know, there's this idea in your head. There's this idea of you, really. The best version of you. You see the best version of you, and you make attempts, you take actions to be that best version of you. And whether people know it or not, we're all undergoing a metamorphosis. It's a lifelong transformation, like a tree growing. You don't even notice it for most of your life. And so for me, the only way to become my best self was to approach authenticity from that kind of an angle. And I realized from a fairly young age, thankfully, if I wanted to be true to myself, if I wanted to build the authenticity that I desired, I had to experience all the things life had to offer. What a cozy little home. In my mind, the only way to become a greater version of myself was to delve into all that life had to offer. And oh boy. I have studied philosophy. I have rapped on stage. I've traveled across the country, worked with famous actors. I've landscaped $1 million homes, given one hell of a best man speech, and so much more, along with all the trauma that came in between all of those great moments. And to be honest, it's really only recently that I've really been able to see the clear picture. You know, for so long, I felt like, yeah, like all of this was connected. Absolutely. You know, I was learning things online and in my career, and somehow all of it felt like it's somehow connected with each other. But I couldn't see the underlying cause or reason. You know, in my head, it was all philosophy. You know, I was either building fictional worlds or talking about Taoism or Afro lo-fi or permaculture or sustainable technology. And all of that is philosophy. It just made sense to me. But you know, how do you build a future for yourself with all of that? Wish I had some string. And so eventually everything for me changed when I came across a term called solar punk. It's not this, but this. And so solar punk emerged as an antithesis to cyberpunk. Solar punk tends to focus on an optimistic vision of the future. And they're visions that prioritize, you know, like systems of sustainability and ecological harmony, you know, over the whole dystopian high-tech landscapes that you often see in the cyberpunk genre. Do you hear me? Youngins? None of that doomerism shit. Please. Oh, an island. So, solar punk is punk in the sense that it rebels against traditional notions of progress. Progress and consumerism. It advocates for alternative, sustainable ways of living and organizing our society. It challenges established power systems, and it promotes grassroots activism and community involvement. It's about shaping our world into a more environmentally friendly future. And you know, to me, solar punk is more than just a world to make art in. It's a world that we can build for ourselves if only we're brave enough to reach for it. And so I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to build worlds within this sphere. And even more than that, I wanted to share this worldview with people who need it, people who still need it, people who don't even know they need it. Because I know for me, it was eye-opening when I finally learned about this. At first, I wanted to make art for me, which, you know, is good. That should be the underlying reason behind creating. But, you know, as I learned more about myself and this new genre, I realized I didn't just want to make art for myself anymore. I wanted to make art for culture. It was an absolute epiphany to me to realize the unifying theme behind all the art and wisdom I wanted to share was culture. And all I really needed was one more mental push. Enter Neat on the Rocks. I stumbled upon a video of his titled, "You Should Be a YouTuber," or artist, or creator. And you know what? I thought it was a pretty good video. I definitely walked away from it feeling pretty inspired. By the message that he talked about in the video. But really, the part of the video that stuck out to me the most was when he was talking about Dharma. And so Dharma, to kind of keep it simple, it's about knowing yourself, your personality, your goals, your talents, but it goes beyond purpose. Dharma means living in resonance with the universe. It means aligning our actions, our roles, and our responsibilities with the natural order. that the universe tends to operate in. It's a path it's a path meant to lead you to transcendence. Are you see where I'm going with this? I knew my purpose, but I wasn't moving in alignment with the universe. Okay, I'm lost. I was holding myself back from my own transcendence. And after everything, self-doubt still ruled me from the backdrop of my mind. So I did what any rational person would do. And I quit my job. Bro, where's my house? Truthfully, I didn't quit because of art. I actually quit because I had been hired under false pretenses. And when I pointed this out in a meeting that I requested, there's my house. They admitted that they had duped me into a different role than what I had interviewed for. Then, not only did they refuse to increase my pay for the extra responsibilities and labor that they were extracting from me, and this, oh god, this is probably the worst part of it all. It was 8 a.m. when the meeting occurred, and they just wanted me to go back to work, like nothing had happened. They completely shut me down, said that's too bad, and just expected me to keep on pushing on. Like after they had lied, I was not going to be upset. Just the audacity to try and pull that on someone. It had me heated, and I can only think of how other people might have been screwed over in the past. But really, I think it was the universe giving me an opportunity. I think it was a chance for me to right my dharma, in a sense. Move in tune with the universe. So I left that day, I drove home, and I immediately started working on this video. And honestly, I refuse to look back. Because it's either a bad breakup, or it's car trouble, or trips to the vet, or you know, whatever the shitstorm of the month is. It's like every tool in the shed is being thrown at you, and oftentimes only thing you don't have time to commit to is the one thing you want to commit to more than anything else. And quite frankly, it's maddening. It's maddening when you feel the pull to live a creative or artistic life, and you're constantly pulled into other priorities. You know, we need to take care of ourselves and the people in our life, of course, but we need to stop letting our dreams be a non-priority. This is going to be a year of change for me. And if you're tired of your vision being second place to whatever the world wants, I think this could be a year of change for you as well. Now, I'm not saying to quit your job and pay your landlord and prayers and promises, but make time for your craft. No one else can put out the unique viewpoint that you have, that you've developed in this world. No one but you. And that is so important. Maybe even more important than you initially realize. And there are no limits to what art can be. Building shit in Minecraft while talking philosophy? Dude, that is art. At least it's art to me. If you're still watching, you know, maybe that's art to you. And I'm not delusional, I'm not delulu. I don't expect any of this to be easy. Not for a second. I fully expect to have to carve out this niche, you know, tooth and nail. But this time, I don't care how hard it is anymore. This time, I'm choosing the path that leads to the better version of me. And if you see yourself wanting to walk that same kind of path, or if you're already on it and you don't want to keep going, I think you should. I think you should pursue your passions and follow your dreams. Astrogator out.